Good afternoon. Hi, this is Deb Corbett, and I'm here with Carrie Peguerrero. We're both members of Melrose Arts, and we're happy to have the 13th annual Window Art Walk for the people in Melrose. And we have 33 artists?
I think we have a few more than that, but...
More than that? Okay.
Yeah.
So over 30 artists. The merchants were very excited about being able to participate this year because, as we know, with COVID, things have been a lot slower than usual, and it's nice to bring people downtown. So,
Yeah.
anything? Yeah.
No, it's a great opportunity for local artists. Everybody who participates has to either live or have their studio in Melrose. So it's a great way for them to just exhibit their work and for families to come down and view it for free.
And it goes till the October 18th, so you still have time. It's a self-guided tour. You can go on our website, melrosearts.com, and you'll see a guide that you can print out, or you could screenshot or do it on your phone, whatever. So let's start with the first space. And this is Wooden Fire, and this is the work of mosaic artist Roberta Gertz. She's very noted in the community to do a lot of really great original stuff. So that's her work. Come down to Wooden Fire and take a look. You might say there are other things.
Okay, this here is Beacon Hill Wine and Gourmet, and the artist here is photographer Leah Brodeur. It looks like she's an engineer by day and a photographer by night. And she does a lot of landscape photography, some very beautiful work. She's the niece of our mayor. So she is happy to participate this year.
The only thing I'll add to this is it's a beautiful sunny day, and unfortunately there is glare on a lot of the windows. So that's going to force you to just come down and do the whole thing on another day, maybe, when you can see things more clearly. Okay, so in the window at CVS, which is a huge space, we have the artist Tom Shula. Again, a very local artist that everybody seems to know, and we're going to let him say a couple words about his work. Thank you, Tom.
Hi, thank you. And it is a number of pieces, and again, for the last 6 months, this is what I've been doing. If you look at some of the pieces from left to right here, what I've done is I've used a lot of things that I found and things that were probably not going to ever be used or forgotten, and I've used them and given them a second life, another purpose, maybe something we all deserve. I love taking old things and again giving them new color, new texture, and a new story. I have everything from lights to old wall clocks that I've converted into something else. I try to do a little whimsy here as well. And I have a couple of my favorite artists that I'm showing with. Ella and Quinn, as you can see their work. And they're just beautiful work, beautiful souls, and they're great artists, they really are. If you look to the right of Ella's work right here, this is one of my newer pieces as well that I just finished. And it's just an old box, and it's called Heart and Hand. And pieces from all over. I couldn't even tell you where I received these pieces or where I got these pieces. But on the inside, there's a hand holding a heart. And on the top, the inscription is, "Be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a great battle." One of my favorite. And as you go to the right, New Orleans. I have two pieces from New Orleans, and if you haven't been to New Orleans, you have to. It's one of the most amazing places, really, in our country. I have a book further to the right, as you could see, and it's called Life Through Eyes and Heart. This is all my photo work for the past 15, 20 years, from everywhere from Italy to Ireland to Paris to Nova Scotia to England, and it's 100 pages and well over 300 photos. As you go further down, again, pieces that I found. I might have had these for a number of years, never knowing what I'm going to do. And I think what's happened is that the last 6 months has inspired me to be a little bit more creative with the work with the pieces I already have. The top is as you could see, is a tray. It used to be a print tray, and the pieces just seem to go together. Each one has its own story, and it just works in a rhythm and a balance. Another piece from New Orleans. This is what you see just walking down the street. It's just an amazing spirit. You couldn't even describe it. You got to feel it. And there's music all day long and at night, at the lights. It's just a whole different life. As we go further down, we have Ella's sister Quinn, and she takes her art very seriously, and as you could see, and I will come home from in the driveway and I see chalk art, and it's just wonderful. And the last piece on the end there is Stonehenge, believe it or not. As I was leaving Stonehenge, it was a sunset. But that about covers all the pieces, and I want to thank you for letting me show you them, and wish everybody well. Come down and see it.
This is artist Jen Moltoni. She does a lot of cut paperwork. She's one of my favorite artists. I actually own a few of her pieces. But yeah, she's pretty prolific. She cuts the paper and makes images out of the little pieces. We're really excited to see some of the artwork that people have done during the lockdown and during the quarantine of COVID. The theme of this whole walk is creativity during the time of COVID. So we've encouraged artists to put up work that they did while they were stuck in quarantine. And it looks like Jen was pretty prolific, so.
Okay, now we're in front of Jeff Carbone Insurance, again on Main Street, and we're looking at the very imaginative drawings of Lori Schmidt. Lori, again, is a multimedia artist. She paints, she makes jewelry, she does a lot of really cool things. I think these drawings are pretty fascinating, and I think I would suggest that you come down and take a look at them and enjoy them. Again, that's at Jeff Carbone. You can't miss it. They're black and white, and they're pretty big. Okay, here we are at Edward Jones Investments, and we're going to look at the work of Lauren Falls. Lauren is graciously here to talk about it. She's been in this location a couple times, and I'll turn the mic to her so she can say a few words about her work.
Thank you, Deb. So I'm really happy to be always in the Melrose Arts Walk, and I am an acrylic painter, and in some ways COVID actually helped me change out my palette quite a bit. Over the years I've used more sort of earth tones, but now I've really brightened up my palette, and these paintings here are a few of the places that inspire me. The beach is certainly one place, and these are Cranes Beach and Wellfleet, and then the one with the windmill is from World's End in Hingham, which is another place that really inspires me. So I've had a lot of fun, if fun is what we can have during this time of COVID. I've had a lot of fun painting, and I am pleased with my work.
Okay, here we are in front of Bruger's Bagels, and there's some really fun things hanging in the window done by Glenn Cruz. He's a local artist, and he likes to recycle vintage license plates and make them into new creations. So this is really a unique thing for him to do, and it's fun to come down and take a look at these. So hopefully you'll enjoy them. He also does custom work, so if you have a phrase or a name that you would like him to make for you, he would be happy to.
Here we are, we're outside Melrose Family Opticians. They are hosting artist Carol Shenna, who is a member of Melrose Arts, and she does both wire sculptures and block printmaking. So she carves a wooden block and then makes prints off of that. It's fairly complicated process to get multiple colors the way she has, but Carol's very talented, so we're thrilled to see what she has in here. Okay, here we are outside of Rada Boutique down here on Main Street. This is my own work, Carrie Peguerrero. These are my white line prints. It's a little different from block printing. You still do carve a wooden block, but you apply the colors individually and then print after each color is applied to the block. So it's a little bit simpler. It was a technique that was pioneered in Provincetown, Massachusetts in the early 20th century. And I've found it to be very rewarding. Some of these things I've combined with paint. This one over here I call El Pond, and everything that is embedded in the paint is stuff that I found while cleaning El Pond. So it's all litter that was in the pond. And I put it in with some molding paste mixed with acrylic paint, and I worked in a white line print there. So that's my statement piece. Hoping that we can get El Pond cleaned up. And up above are just some of the white line prints I've done during the lockdown, during COVID. Been busy.
Okay, now we're at Lcm Landscape and Masonry. Now this is a short jog in from Main Street on West Foster, and we're looking at the work of David Winkler. David has a very imaginative approach to painting. I believe these are also, well, they're acrylic. One is an acrylic, one's an oil, so he works in both media. And they're very colorful and very bold brushwork. So they're very fun to look at. So please enjoy coming down here to Lcm Landscape.
Okay, and here we are at Hourglass Gift Gallery. We have the work of Cheryl Zelton, who's one of our ceramic artists. She does a lot of beautiful pottery work. And it just goes to show that we have more than just 2D art. We do have people that do sculptures and pottery and all sorts of 3D kinds of objects. So come on down and check out Cheryl Zelton's work, and I'm sure some of it is indeed for sale if you are interested.
Here we are at Cuts and Such, which is one of the many beauty spots in town, and in the window are some beautiful oil paintings by Stacy Dinarello. Stacy seems to specialize in still life painting, and again, very nice brushwork. She has mastered the idea of still life, so they're pretty good size, they're beautiful, and hopefully you can come down and enjoy Stacy Dinarello's work at Cuts and Such.
Okay, here we are at the Barber's Den, and we have the work of Matt Bernsen. A lot of you may be familiar with Matt because he is the one who does the caricatures at the art festival each year. I know a lot of parents in town have had caricatures done by him for their kids, but these are some of his acrylic paintings, and we're pretty excited to have Matt in this window.
Okay, so now we're at the Clippings location, another salon on Main Street, and we're going to introduce you to artist Sally Gordon, who has some very interesting 3D colorful work. So Sally, tell us a couple things about your work.
Okay. Hi. My work is three-dimensional, and I've grown to do mostly handmade paper collages, and then recently I've started stuffing canvases, and the birds usually that, but I typically do the nature pieces, and I also have done some Jewish prayers, so I'm up for biblical quotes if you need anything of that. And I also have a book, The Story of Ruth, that I made with the paper collage.
Okay, here we are at Red Rose Chinese Food, and we have the work of local photographer Sharon Catalano. She's done some amazing night photography and has gotten, the constellations and the Neowise Comet, and she's done some really beautiful sunset work. So we're pretty thrilled to have Sharon displaying her work this year.
Now we're down at Moderno, which is sort of toward the end of Main Street, and we're looking at the photography of Carrie Ann Roach. And she seems to get her inspiration from nature, floral pieces, reflective pieces. So come on down and see her work at Moderno.
Okay, here we are at Color Works, the Benjamin Moore store down here on Main Street. This is the work of Adrian Johnston, who is an artist and illustrator. He's primarily, I think, does mostly paintings, but he's got a few works here that look like they might have some other stuff mixed in. Adrian's also part of Melrose Open Studio Tours, and you can see more of his work when that happens in November. So we're pretty excited to have him join us.
At Marathon Sports, we have collage artist Erica Lally. Erica is an artist in residence at Follow Your Art. She does extremely intricate, very beautiful collage work. She has one piece in the window that's worth standing and looking at for a long time. At SDM Foundation, where they make computing easy for everyone, you can find the photos of Michelle Ballone. Michelle loves photography, especially nature. She's known for traveling out west and loving it, and her work is just really very peaceful and beautiful. So come on down to SDM and take a look at Michelle's work.
We are at Halo Studio, another salon down here on Main Street. We have the work of artist Sarah Gravante. Sarah does a lot of printmaking, she does a little bit of painting, and she does monotypes, I believe. Sarah's also an artist in residence at Follow Your Art Studios, where she also teaches several classes. So make sure you come down and check out the really beautiful, colorful work she's done. It's just gorgeous.
At Pampered Nails on Main Street is the very nice, bold, I believe, acrylic work of Elaine Mcmichael. She loves a sense of motion and abstraction, and she's a good person with showing us the process in the sense that you see a lot of her bold brushwork, and she's very talented and a well-known Melrose painter. Another photographer who is very well known in the community is Jack Welch. He does beautiful colored classic scenes, nautical, water, nature. He also often will do photos of antique cars, which I happen to know personally is a great hobby of his. So he's showing his photos at Miter Biter. So please come down and take a look at Miter Biter and take a look at Jack's work.
Okay, here we are at the Melrose Family YMCA, where we have the beautiful oil paintings of artist Lynn Resnick. She gets a lot of her inspiration from nature, and as you can see, she's done some beautiful landscapes and some floral paintings here. She is sharing the window with another artist, Carolyn Sanis, who does some really fun, quirky work. Bright colors. Children love it. I know my daughter has collected several of her pieces. But yeah, she does some really fun acrylic paintings. So please come down and check it out. I'm sure your kids will love it. Here we are at Suburban Eye Town Optical, where we have the work of fiber artist Michelle Desvoe. She has chosen to put up an installation of some masks that she's made during quarantine, so it's a particularly pertinent piece she's put in the windows here. And we're pretty excited to have her as part of the walk, so please come down and check it out. Okay, here we are at the Beauty Cafe, which features the work of Lisa de Corbert. She works at the Beauty Cafe, so she is doing some beautiful work. She has some colorful acrylics, I believe, and we hope you can come down and check it out.
Now at Starbucks, you'll see one beautiful classic pastel work by Melrose artist Anne Cook. And it really gives you a sense of the season, and it's just a classic pastel work. So Starbucks is very nice to host Anne Cook. Thank you.
Okay, here we are at Donahue Interiors, which is featuring the work of Melrose artist Catalina Moreno. Catalina is also on the board of Melrose Arts and does a lot of behind-the-scenes work in the arts in Melrose. She's got several acrylic paintings down here showing different seasons. There's definitely spring and fall and winter, and it looks like a nice summer piece here. So come down and check out the 4 seasons at Anna Donahue Interiors.
Okay, so now we're at Buckaloo's, which is a really charming gift shop in town, and they're kind enough to host the work of moi, Deb Corbett. I'm a mixed media painter. I'm abstract, and I love a lot of texture. I love mixing materials. I love painting my own paper to use in my collage. And the work is interesting the longer you look at it. So make sure you come down and see my work.
Okay, here we are at the Plaza Barber Shop down on Main Street, which is featuring the work of artist Mohammed Bashiri. I believe Mohammed does acrylic paintings, although they may be oil. I'm not 100% sure, but he does some lovely paintings, and he has been featured here for several years now, at least since they opened in this location. So we're thrilled to have Mohammed back in the Art Walk this year.
So in the newly renovated Pepperberries on Main Street, they're hosting the work of John Machiavsky. John is a very multi-talented painter and a jeweler, by the way. And what they've chosen to put in the window are some of his very boldly painted, colorful landscapes, showing a lot of brushstroke and a lot of interest. So come down to Pepperberries and check it out. At Naked Feet and Yoga, you'll find the work of Penny Young. Her work is three-dimensional, mixed media, She dyes her own fabrics, and she uses beading to enhance the image. Her work is very interesting, so come see it at Naked Feet. At Cambridge Savings Bank on Main Street, across from Follow Your Art, you will find the work of Carrie Peguerrero. Chiara is also a woman that is very associated with Follow Your Art. She's a teacher there and an artist in residence. And her work is beautiful and colorful and very well designed.